Hi, I'm Gary Beutler for the Water Stores Group, and I own the water store in Midland, Ontario. Have you ever wanted to know some insider secrets before you make a purchase? Things that the pros would know that would help you in making a decision. Well, that's what we're doing today. We're talking about insider buying tips for purchasing a water softener. So the first thing you need to know is whether you want a two-piece water softener like this one here or a one-piece water softener like this one here. Generally speaking, two-piece is a better choice. As long as you have the space where the water comes into your home, where your water meter is or where your pressure tank is, two-piece water softener is cheaper, and the electronics, which is located at the top of the media tank, is separated from the highly corrosive brine solution, which is located in this salt tank. There are exceptions. This one-piece Aquamaster water softener, for example, it is more expensive initially. However, it will save you money in the long run because it uses far less salt, far less water. Also, the electronics are in a sealed unit, so that keeps it separated from that highly corrosive brine solution. Next thing to consider is that you get something that's made from a water softener that's produced from non-proprietary components, which means that any water treatment dealer can get parts for that water softener now, but also in the future. You don't want to be stuck in with something that's a name brand product that is only produced for that product, and in the near future it becomes discontinued, they go to a newer line, and because of that you can't get parts 10 years from now when you need parts. Next thing that's important is that the water softener has to have a bypass valve. A bypass valve is used to bypass the water softener, so when you're filling a swimming pool or something like that, you're not using softened water for it. Bypass valve needs to be easy to find and easy to operate. Like this one here, for example, has these red arrows. You just point the arrows toward each other, and that bypasses the water softener. A water softener like this one, for example, is very difficult to bypass because, first of all, it's difficult to find the bypass, it's difficult to know which direction to turn them in, and it's also difficult to operate because it's much stiffer. Next thing to consider is the technology. You want to go with something with proven technology. This one's been around since the year 2000, so if there were any little glitches or bugs, they were worked out years ago, and it's proven a very, very reliable product. This one here, it's been around for over 30 years. So because of that, yes, it's a proven product, and yes, it's reliable. However, it's very old technology, so it's very difficult to service, but it's also very inefficient, so it uses far more salt, it uses far more water every time it regenerates. Also, when you're purchasing a water softener, you want to think about who you're buying it from. A local water treatment professional, for example, knows what your water is like in the area, knows what other people have purchased, and that it's solved their issues, so they can help you with that. They can come out, test your water, discuss where the equipment's going to be located, discuss the concerns you have about your water, and make sure that what you're purchasing is really the right water softener for you under those circumstances. Also look at a water softener that's a scaled down version of an industrial unit, like this one here, for example. So what that means is an industrial water softener uses far more water than you use, so it has to be reliable, it has to be rebuildable, and it has to be give great service for a long period of time. And a scaled down version of that will give you that same kind of service, so that's what you need to look for. It needs to be easily serviced too. This one here, for example, to clean the injectors, is quite a bit of disassembly that has to be involved. To replace the motor, again, there's quite a bit of disassembly that has to be that's involved with that. With one like this, there's very little work to do with the service. It has a screen on the front that actually has a self-diagnostic feature, so it will show you an error code to tell you what's wrong with this. Also, when it does need parts replacement, it's very simple to take it apart because it has no springs, no nuts, no washers, no screws, no bolts, and all the components just clip in together. So it's simple to replace any of those components or to take it apart to clean it out to service it. The other thing you have to realize is you have to look at whether you want a metered water softener or not, and you do. A metered water softener measures how much water you use, and then it only regenerates based on usage. A water softener like this one, for example, which isn't a metered water softener, we set it up on a time clock. So we might set it based on how much water you use, how many people are in your home, how hard your water is, that it might need to regenerate every 3 or 4 days. The problem with that system is if you use more water because one day you're doing a lot of laundry or something like that, then you're going to run out of soft water. But the other side of it too is if all of a sudden there's only one person in the home, or if you've gone on vacation and there's nobody in the home, this will still regenerate every 3 or 4 days and still use the same amount of water and the same amount of salt. A metered water softener will only regenerate when it has to. So it measures how much water you use and only regenerates that. And those are our insider buying tips. If you like what you saw here today, please check out our website at waterstoresgroup.com. And again, I'm Gary Beutler from the Water Store in Midland, Ontario. Thanks for watching.